Well, there's been some big news, so we thought it was worth sharing a bit of an update on all things Brodie, Kostecki, Erebus for sale, and even just a little bit about Peter Retun, whether he'll get his hands on a licence or not.
No.
Anyway, welcome to the Valve Bounce, Damien.
Steve!
And yeah, we just thought it would be a good idea just to sort of unpack, as there's been some developments.
Anyway, yeah.
True, we're still a little bit unknown, but there has been things sort of bubbling along in the background, and some of the stuff that was dropped last week as little rumours has kind of snowballed into big things. So let's start and unpack on Brodie's return.
Brodie's return. We did sort of touch on this on the what's gone tonight, but yeah, look, return wasn't spectacular, and it was fair to say that it was fairly icy from all reports inside that garage.
Cold as ice.
Apparently he was down in the twos and stuff, like helping others out rather than actually staying in the team garage. But are you surprised?
No. No, not at all. I mean, yeah, it must feel very awkward where you're employed in a place. Obviously, a lot of the stuff we talk about tonight, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, definitely. Last, this whole thing is alleged.
I think like allegedly every time.
I wish I was a fly on the wall because I think it'd be interesting. But yeah,
but yeah, some of the legal battles and stuff that are basically forcing him to drive for a team he doesn't want to be involved with or be around.
That's the biggest thing I don't understand, because like Betty has always been, if you don't want to drive here, leave, like don't stay. But this is the first time that she has, and I think I've said that before, but this is the first time that she's gone, no, I'm going to hold on to you.
Yeah.
And I guess it's because they were series champion, right? Like,
yeah,
that has to be the only real reasoning behind it.
Yep.
I feel like they could have been in a lot better scenario if they just let him go somehow.
Yeah, well, you're right. That would have been the right thing to do. And precedent from her was always to let drivers go if they don't want to drive. But you're right, something changed, whether it was too many keep leaving, or whether it was, just the Brown departure and then Brodie then coming up and saying, I want to be here. That was just like too much, and it was like, we're stopping it. But the legal battle, according to the to the reports, they were willing to go somewhere in the order of $3 to $4 million for losses if he didn't race.
That was by Chapman on Wide World of Sports, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, again, it was rumoured, but $3 to $4 million to buy him out of his contract seems a little outrageous to me. Especially after everything he brought to that team, because it definitely hasn't taken a forward step since he departed.
Yep.
So it's hard. You never know the ins and outs of any relationship, whether it be working or anything else. So from an outsider's perspective, I kind of side with Brodie and I feel for him. But yeah, it's crazy to think that we're in the situation now where the team is basically at the point of having to sell.
Well, as point of recording, so a week prior, and then this week, it's all kind of coming out in the wash that Erebus is up for sale. Strong rumours that it's going to happen, or it is underway.
Yep.
Now, we will say that the management at Erebus have denied that the sale is imminent. Now, that's the words that were put into the Speed Cafe article, that the sale is imminent. So not denying that perhaps it's up for sale, but maybe trying to hose down how close it is.
How close it is, yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts? Why do you think this is happening?
Look, it's a snowball effect, right? So obviously they've had that, whatever the result of going on between Barry and Brodie, and then we've gone into loss of sponsors and Brodie leaving, and now forced hand back. I think the team, operation-wise, doesn't have any money. Betty obviously has money.
Yeah.
But I think she's done with putting money back into it. She needs it to be running. I think she said this like 5 or 6 years ago, where the team needs to be the team and her money is her money, right? So I just think they're at a crossroads. They don't know what to do. But it's got to be a little messy because Barry owns a quarter or a half of an RAC,
right?
Quarter of a team.
Yeah. Now we did go back and research this because I just fell into the trap of thinking he owned half the team, so one car of the 2-car wreck. But going back to Erebus press release at the time, it's actually half of car 99.
Yep.
So effectively, it's
half of the wreck.
Yeah, it's half of that 1-car wreck. So it's a quarter of the team, per se. So it wouldn't give him enough voting rights to veto if Betty wanted to just sell up. And I'm sure, some of the complications that must be going through their minds at the moment is that if they can't get sponsors, like any real solid sponsorship, how they can't maintain it. Betty's always been open about that.
Yep.
You don't own these things just to burn cash.
No.
And so if they feel like it's gone too far, maybe it is the right thing to say,
See you later.
we're done, and just give someone else the fresh start.
Yeah, the question would be who, we don't have any of those answers. By the way, I'm just in my own brain going, who might buy this, and I don't see anyone like at the forefront wanting other than Peter Addison.
Yeah, social media. Apparently, Peter Addison's that's it. But
if social media had its way, Peter Addison will buy that, right? But Betty's selling it, and ultimately, Betty doesn't like Peter.
Yeah, and like I guess there are some regulatory things that happen. So supercars have to sign off on the new purchaser.
Yeah.
So even if Betty changed her mind in some way and wanted to sell to Peter, you then have to go through the teams and supercars board.
Yeah.
Which I don't know whether that would even get passed. As much as I think collectively it would make for so much drama that we would just love to be able to build content around if they owned a team. Very unlikely. And he has actually put it out there that Betty said, she'll sell it to me. And he's been very active, very feisty. Yeah, just his usual self.
He loves to cause trouble.
Yeah, because it could potentially shake up, if they sell. Very true. The last real big purchase was that Grove purchase, and that is unfolding now as to being such a big change to the category.
Huge.
So I really hope that, it is a positive outcome, that someone buys it and invests in the right way, can pull the right sponsorship to really deliver some change.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, look, that team is good, right? Like, ultimately, if you remove a few, then suddenly you have a good team with good foundation. They've won a championship before. There's no reason why they can't get back up there. Yeah. They've got the personnel to do it.
And so I guess now let's think about what does it actually mean, all of this stuff that's been unfolded. We've definitely had our say and we've put our opinion out there about how we feel it's really impacting. It's not been the best handled situation. But I mean, if we look at really the dark outcomes of all of this, you look at the impacts on the people. So, I mean, yes, obviously Brodie is there's a massive impact, but there's also going to be now a team owner that's selling. There's a team manager that's been rightfully, wrongfully put through the ringer. There's been supercars, which
haven't helped.
Yeah, and it has only fostered more frustration from the fans in the way it was managed. Yep. Their hands are a little tied in how they do it, but they could have. There were certainly ways I think that we've shared that they could have done this better.
Yep.
And so you just got to wonder, will a sale of that license and Betty stepping out, potentially Barry, whoever else, like, do you think that's going to be a positive outcome for supercars? And I guess it depends on who buys, but yeah
it does.
Do you think now they've gone too deep, things have too far gone, that people have really just lost it with Erebus?
Yeah, it's brand damage. Like, Erebus used to be the team that everyone followed. If you were Ford and Erebus won, you're okay with it. If you were Holden and Erebus won, you're okay with it. It didn't matter, right? Like they were that team that you just went to and you were happy for them to win. You'd celebrate them. Kind of like Brad Jones, right? When Brad Jones Racing wins, you kind of go, yeah, that's really cool because it's the underdog type thing, right? We all love it. But yeah, it's gotten to a point now, and look, it started probably with Reynolds, that whole 10 years, and then the mishap, which isn't ever spoken about. It never happened.
Nothing went wrong.
Nothing went wrong. And now we've had it again.
Yeah.
Where they restarted, they brought 2 young guys in, and then it works well for a couple of years,
Yep.
and then something goes terribly wrong. I don't know what, but it just goes wrong. It goes pear-shaped, and then they try and leave. And this is the first time we've seen them actually try and fight back, and I don't think it's done them any good in terms of their brand at all.
No favours at all. And look, if you follow the one train or the track of where Barry Ryan is causing the problems,
Allegedly.
Of course, allegedly, but he was at the heart or at the centre of the Davey Reynolds thing.
Yep.
And he's now been placed firmly in the square of the target of being responsible for this. Like, it really makes you wonder, that friendship or that loyalty that Betty has must be so strong that she can't either believe, or there's things that we don't know or don't see, but there's got to be something that is holding her to the fact of, hey, I'm just going to sell the whole team, rather than actually make changes which people were calling for back in the Reynolds thing, where they were like, Barry shouldn't be here. Like, we saw the documentary, people were out and out, frustrated with him.
They really were.
What we saw.
I totally agree with that, and I think had a move been made for Barry to be removed from that role maybe earlier, perhaps they could have gone into damage control and everything would have turned out much better than it has. I'm not going to question Barry's ability to get a team. They won a championship, so
clearly
they won Bathurst. He has something to add to the
Correct.
team, and it's very easy for us to sit back and say Barry's a bad man, this and that. I'm sure he's not wholeheartedly a bad man, but he obviously has some characteristics that grind people. Yeah, and particularly the drivers.
Yeah, well, I do feel from what we have seen, so as part of the documentary, I just feel like he's probably more of an older school style guy in a world that's fast.
Changing.
Like, it's just changing so quickly that he, or people that ilk management style, if it's true, that, it doesn't gel. And I think that's possibly part of the reason. And that's only based off what we've seen through certain things.
Yep, I agree with that.
And so, I guess the positives here is that it could be a nice clean slate. It's a possibility for a really strong, hopefully someone to come in, invest and make a change to the category. You got any thoughts on what you might like to see?
Yep, I'd like to see another Mustang on the grid, just to even it up just a little bit more. But I would like somebody to come in, drop into the Ford Brigade and even up the whole category, and go racing. And as I said, it's fundamentally that team. Let's be honest, it used to be SBR.
Yep.
Right. I'd love to see it go back to that style, I guess. But I mean, I know we've got MSR in there, and Ford passed on him. Annoyingly early on, so I don't know how that's going to unfold, but I'd love to see them as a Ford team.
I know, they just didn't quite have that solid foundation of success.
Yeah, I know.
And they're always, like, Ford as the manufacturer, always going to look at something like a Walkinshaw over an MSR.
Totally. No offense, Blanchard. I love you guys. You totally swap Blanchard for them. I love that team. They're a great team, and the Blanchard family, from all reports, are lovely people. So, but just in terms of results,
you have MSR.
You have MSR over them.
Yeah, in the Mustang category.
Yes, in the Mustang category. That's it.
Beautiful.
1.5. No, it's pretty good this year.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I guess, yeah, that kind of wraps up this video. We just felt it was worth just bundling it all up. There will be updates that'll happen. But, yeah, we just sort of felt like it was sort of bobbling to this point of let's do an update and just see where it leads from here, because the path is undefined right now.
It's very undefined. It's very rocky. So I don't know what you guys have thought. Put it in the comments. You know, let us know what you guys have been thinking, and if you've heard anything other than what we have. That yeah, I mean, there's so much to unfold. There really is. Yeah, heaps. We appreciate everyone watching. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes and comments and everything else. We appreciate it. Yes. And yeah, we'll get back to punching out some more videos for you shortly. Sounds good. See you guys. Bye.